Like many families, my family had our share of trouble. I was in Montana to escape it. I'd picked Bozeman because it was far away from Massachusetts and our family crisis, which had dragged on for decades. It started when my sister Andrea was a child, and she accidentally hung herself by her cowgirl hat while bouncing on her bed. Our mother had told her not to bounce on the bed, but she did. Our mom was in another room when she heard silence from Andrea's room. Mom dashed in to find her hanging by her neck on the hat string. Andrea had turned blue. They rushed her to the hospital, where the doctors put her in an oxygen tent. Our dad spent the next 48 hours in bed with Andrea, holding her in his arms. When she came home from the hospital, she was not the same person. A light had gone out of her eyes. Years went by, and I did not know her any other way than she'd become. When I was 14, on the night of Andrea's high school graduation, she did not come home. 2 days later, when she did finally return, having not called, there was a huge scene between her and my parents. The summer continued to be tumultuous. Every dinner was a battlefield. That fall, Andrea went off to the Massachusetts College of Art and Design, but she lasted less than a semester. She was home about a week when she vanished. Mom was in a panic. She had been talking about her friends in Boston, so Dad took time off from work to see if he could find her. One day, weeks later, I walked in to find Andrea sitting at the kitchen table. Mom was delousing her hair and boiling her lousy clothes in a pot on the stove. Over dinner, I learned that Dad had seen her in Boston Common with a bunch of hippies. He grabbed her and brought her home. Less than a week after that episode, I got home from school to find the house empty. I expected Andrea to be there and was concerned that she wasn't. My concern shifted to fear when I went to get my backpack and gear out of the attic for an upcoming Boy Scout trip. My pack was gone, along with my sleeping bag and my mess kit. I knew she'd taken it. I was hurt because in my gut, I knew she was gone, and gone for good. I was angry too, though, because she'd stolen my new pack and my gear, and I knew that I could not go camping that weekend, which meant I had to stay home with all the trouble and tension that was simmering. It boiled over that night. The next day, my dad took off to Boston again, as he did every day for the next few weeks, to try to find her. He never did. It broke our mother's heart and spirit, too. The ensuing years brought tears upon tears, as the silence deepened and the brokenheartedness reached a devastating level. Each Christmas, we would get a postcard with no return address, so we knew she was alive. Each night, our mom would stand alone in the dark of the dining room, holding the curtain back with one hand, staring down Church Street, quietly crying and watching for her prodigal daughter's return. My senior year in high school, around the time I turned 18, in February, Andrea returned with a 2-year-old baby in her arms. Our parents welcomed her back, set her up in her own apartment, and found her a job at the public library. I visited the two of them every day after school for a month, until the day I went to her apartment and found a note on the counter. Andrea said that she was hitchhiking with the baby to the annual Rainbow Family Gathering, which was being held in Virginia that year. It was snowing the day she left. If Andrea's running away the first time broke our mother's heart, her leaving the second time, with a grandbaby on a snowy St. Patrick's Day, drove our loving mom to a near-nervous collapse. The next year, Andrea was arrested in Oregon for neglect of her 3-year-old daughter Lumeria and newborn daughter Ruby. She called home and our parents paid the bail. The kids were put in foster care. She then fled to Canada. Social services separated the two babies in good homes, one in the east and one in the west. Suffice it to say that during those